Hi. Before we go on to our next lesson, we're going to recap 1.5, which was angle measures. So we have a picture of an angle, and we're going to label the parts. So for this part, it is called the vertex. It is also the endpoint of an angle. And an angle, you have two of these lines that you put together that share common vertex. They are called a ray. There's an endpoint, and then it goes on and on and on. Put those two together at a common point, which is the vertex, to create the angle. So those are the keywords that you've learned about angle measures. More stuff, so we're in the vocab corner, has one endpoint and it extends indefinitely. If you guessed ray, you are correct. Formed by two non-collinear rays with a common endpoint. Remember, you got two of those rays, they have a common endpoint. If you said angle, you are correct. Two rays with a common endpoint that form a line. Two rays with a common endpoint that form a line. It's called opposite ray. Common endpoint of two sides of an angle. Common endpoint of two sides of an angle. You said vertex? You are correct. A ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles. If you said angle bisector, you are correct. And angles that have the same measure? Congruent angles. Right. So what do we call a 90-degree angle? Right angle. If it's more than 90, obtuse angle. And if it's less, acute angle. Right, so that's the review of the previous lesson of angle measures. We're going to go on to our next, but before we do that, we've got two pictures here. Picture of a black girl, and we have a picture of Sonic. So it says, look at the pictures. What do you notice? I mean, you may have different perspective of the pictures. Some of you may say, oh, I notice Sonic, I notice a girl. Notice that she has, it looks like she has big hair, like an afro. You notice Sonic is smiling, they're both smiling. You notice it looks like there's a pixelation thing going on, a mosaic thing happening to create the pictures. So most of you might have different views of how you see the picture. But if you look closely, really close, especially with the colors of the color of the pictures, you notice that there are shapes that are being created to create the person's face, the girl's face, and Sonic's face. And these shapes, if I look closely, I see triangles, I see quadrilaterals, especially with the girl. With Sonic, I see triangles. I see, it looks like an oval where his nose is, but maybe some of them might be diamond shaped, like where his the tongue is, mouth, a diamond shape. See a diamond shape here? That could be a rhombus. So basically all of these shapes, when you put them together, could create something beautiful like this, especially when you add color to it. Because like for some, there's artists who, they don't just straight do realism when it comes to painting. They usually use shapes and put them together as a mosaic type of way and create this beautiful thing that looks realistic. So this is going to lead us to our next lesson, which is polygons. So different types of shapes is polygons. So the objective is, how do we identify polygons and solve problems using their properties? So let me extend this. So we have polygons, and then we're going to make sure I didn't skip anything. We're going to learn their properties. So in order for a polygon to be a polygon, it has to be a figure formed by at least 3 line segments. An example would be a triangle. So the minimum would be 3 lines, which forms a triangle, and then you go up. A non-example would be a shape like this. This is not a polygon. And that leads us to our second one, which says a figure with only one shape. This looks like there's 2 shapes. You got a half moon, and then you got a triangle. So if you have this type, it's one shape, and that's it. A non-example would be something like this: 2 triangles. They're upside down. One is upside down, but it's not a polygon because there's 2 shapes. It has to be one shape, and it has to be at least 3 lines. Has 3 lines. The next property, the figure must be closed. Notice that this shape, the square, is closed, whereas this non-example, it is not closed. So you need to have it have at least 3 lines put together to create the shape. It has to be one shape, and it has to be closed. Now, we have 3 different types of shapes, and it says, explain why the following figures are not polygons. Let's look at this. Why is this not a polygon? What makes this different from what we saw in these examples? If you said that it's curved, yeah, they're curved. The other ones are not curved like that. Curved sides. So polygons, you cannot have curved sides. So that means a circle is not a polygon. What about this? If you said because there's 2 shapes, yeah, there's 2 shapes, so it cannot be a polygon. Now what about C? If you said it's opened, yeah, an open figure. So these cannot be polygons because it's curved. This one's 2 shaped and this one's open. Now there are names for polygons. You already know what a 3-sided shape is. It's a triangle. 4-sided, for example, we got rectangles, squares, rhombus. You may go right away and say, oh, it's a square. But rectangles, squares, rhombus, diamonds, they're all part of this family, and it's called quadrilateral. Quad means 4, lateral, 4 lines. So that's for 4. 5, it's in Washington, D.C. Pentagon. That's 6, which is hexagon. 7, heptagon. 8, octagon, just like the stop sign. And then we have 9, nonagon. 10, decagon. 11, undecagon. We're not going to use 11. I mean, there would be maybe examples that say, okay, how many sides? You would just say it's 11 or whatever. But this is not really commonly used. The other ones that I've mentioned, they are commonly used. And then you got 12, dodecagon. And anything with n sides is a n-gon. Alright, so we learned about the types of, the characteristics of a polygon. We're going to classify them. First classification is it convex or concave? When it's convex, all angles point out. When it's concave, contains angles that point inward. So to remember that between those two, convex, think of the word vex. Someone is very vexed, they're angry, they're out to get you, you hurt them or whatever. So their eyes, it's like shooting daggers at you because they're so angry at you. So think of a shape, all the angles are pointed out. It's like a defensive mode, like stay away from me, you bug me, stay away. So everything's pointed out like a porcupine. Concave, you hear the word cave, You go inside the cave. So you're going inside. So notice how this is caved in. As soon as if you have a shape, and as soon as something already caves in, something's pointed inward, it's concave. If all the angles are out, sticking out like this, it's convex. Another type of classification is irregular or irregular. Regular means that all the convex polygon, all the sides and angles are congruent. When it's congruent, everything is symmetrical. Not what's symmetrical. Everything's all the same. It's regular. The opposite of that is irregular. So if it fails one or more of the criteria to be, it fails one or more of the criteria to be a regular polygon. This isn't regular. The next I thought there was another classification. Sorry, there's only two classifications. I'm going crazy here. So it's regular, irregular, or convex or concave. Now we're going to do examples where we're going to say if it's a polygon, and if it is it concave, convex, regular, or irregular, and if it's not a polygon. So is this a polygon? Yeah. Is it convex or concave? All the angles are pointed out, it's convex. Is it regular or irregular? Remember, regular means all congruent, so this one is irregular. Quadrilateral, I forgot to classify the name. It's a quadrilateral because there's 4 sides, it's convex, and it's irregular. Is this a polygon? Yeah, it is a polygon. What type of polygon? Let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Septagon. Is it convex? Concave? It's concave because some of them are pointing, the angles are pointing inward. Is it regular or irregular? It's irregular. Is this a polygon? If you said no, you are correct. It's not a polygon. It's 2 shapes. Is this a polygon? Yes. What type? The triangle. So it's 3 sides. Concave or convex? Convex, because it's pointing out. Is it regular or irregular? Irregular. Now, some of you may have a question, how do you know if it's regular or irregular? With some of the shapes will have little tick marks, like if it's line here, line here, line here, that will tell you that it's congruent. If you don't see those lines or it's not telling you, then assume that it's irregular. And with the pentagon has to be regular because if you, there are some pentagons that are not regular, but majority of the time they are regular. But pentagons are one of those regular shapes. Star. Is it a polygon? Yeah. How many? What type of polygon? How many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a decagon. Convex or concave? Some of them are pointing out, but there's others that are pointing in, so it's concave. Regular or irregular? I'm looking at it, I'm thinking regular. So let's see what it says. Irregular. So it's irregular. And this shape? Polygon? Yeah. Because it's closed. And how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Septagon, let me see, did I count right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. Septagon, concave, convex. All the angles are pointed out, so it's convex. Regular, irregular. I say irregular, but this says regular. So this is where, unless it gives you the lines to tell you that it's regular, I'm going to assume that's irregular. So this is going to be irregular. Right. We have perimeter. You already know what perimeter is. Perimeter, you add up all the sides. So the sum of the lengths of the sides of a polygon. It's the distance around a figure. So basically, they say find the perimeter of each figure. So you're basically adding all up. So if you were to use your calculator, you have 7 plus 10, that gives you 17. These two together gives you 36. So 36 plus 17, that gives you 53 millimeter. Millimeter. Same thing with this one. You're adding up all the sides. You got 33 and 32. That gives you 65, and then you add the 21. That will give you 86 mile. Now, with this one, it says find the length of each side of the polygon for the given perimeter. So they gave you the perimeter, but they gave you sides in form of expression. So in order to do this, in order to do this, you know that these tick marks, that tells you that they're the same, they're congruent. This is congruent to this. There's 4 sides, so you need to add them all. The quicker way to do, since this is the same, you do 2 times 6n minus 8 plus 2 times n, and then you add it up to 26. Distributive property. Oops, I put 12 by accident. That should be 2. Then you combine like terms. That gives you 14n minus 16 equals 26. And then you're going to, let me see what I'm going to do. I want to move this out of the way. That's not what I wanted to do. And I'm going to do the work, squeeze it right here. Alright. So now you're going to add 16 to both sides. That cancels. 14n equals 42. And then I'm going to move that over here. So 14n equals 42. You divide 14 on both sides. You get 3. N equals 3. And then they want you to find the sides. So I'm going to use another color for the sides. So I'm going to plug it in. So I know this side is n equals 3. And then 6n minus 8. I'm going to plug it in. So that gives me 18 minus 8. And then that gives me 10. So this side is 10, and this one is 3 and 3. And I add them all up, it gives me 26. And of course you have to label. Make sure you label 3 inches, 10 inches, because you're dealing, if they give you a dimensions, and they give you a label, a unit, so you gotta label it. Same thing with this one. Let's look at this closely. I use purple. Alright, so this one, they gave you 9 plus x. They give you 5x minus 4 for the base of this shape. The top is 2x plus 2. Notice this line and this line? That means that they're congruent. So this is also 2x plus 2. They gave you the perimeter, 89. So now, you're going to write it out. So 9x plus 9 plus 5x minus 4 plus 2 times 2x plus 2, because you got 2 of them, equals 89. So now I'm going to take that and I'm going to do the work. I'll do it down here. So I'm going to do the distribution, and at the same time I'm going to add like terms. Over here is 6x. This one is plus 5. And this one gives me 4x plus 4 equals 89. Continue to combine like terms. Then I'm subtracting 9 on both sides. I'm going to extend this. So 10x equals 90. Divide the 10. And I'm getting x as 9. So x is equal to 9. But now I need to find the sides by plugging it in. So, how can I do this? So 2 times 9 plus 2, excuse me, 18 plus 2, so that gives me 20 feet. And then that means this is 20 and this is 20. Then 9 plus 9 is going to give me 18. And then for this one is 5x minus 4. So that will be 45 minus 4 gives me 41 feet. And again, labels. Oh, did I mess up here? Let's see something. 9 equals, oh, I goofed. Sorry about that. That should have been 80, and that should be 8. So let me erase this. Actually, let me just see if I can. So gotta be careful. So that one will be 17 over here. Eraser. So that's 8. That's going to be 40. And then 8. This one changed. Okay. What am I? Alright, so let's do this again. So this would be 18. That'll be 40, and then this gives me 36, and then that's 17. So let me put the right thing. That's 18, 18, and then this is 36. Okay. So there you go. I goofed there. It can happen to the best of us. Now let's go to the next one. It says a regular quadrilateral. So if it's regular, that means it's equal, congruent sides. So I'm going to draw. Again, when they don't give you a diagram, you're going to have to draw one yourself. So quadrilateral, so I know equal sides, they're going to be, it's going to be a square. I'm going to put the marks to say that this is congruent because it's a regular quadrilateral. And I'm going to label it A, B, C, D. When you label in a shape, if you go clockwise or counterclockwise, make sure you go in order. So A, B, C, D, not A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. The perimeter, I'm going to put is 80 inches. Find the length of each side. Alright, so if the perimeter is 80 inches, and we don't know what the side is, so the side, I'm going to say equals X. How many sides are there? There's 4 of them. So then that means X plus X plus X equals 80. So it'll be 4X equals 80, and then you divide. So that'll be 20 for each side. So 20 inches. You could do that, set it up that way, or all you could have done was, you know that there's 4 sides. This is a square. They're all congruent. So you just divide 4 into 80. And you get 20. That's it. For the next one, quadrilateral, ABC, they didn't say regular. They just said it's a quadrilateral. So where it's going to be whatever it is. So let me choose a rectangle for that. And let's see what they say. It has a perimeter of 95 centimeters. Find the length of each side. A, I'm going to label it A, B, C, D. And I'm going to use another color to label it. So it says find the length of each side. AB is 3A plus 2. BC is 2 times A minus 1. CD is 6A plus 4. And then AD is 5A minus 5. Alright, so now I'm going to have to do it here. So I have 5A minus 5 plus 3a plus 2 plus 6a plus 4 plus 2 times a minus 1 equals 95. Alright, so this one I know is going to be 2a because I'm distributing minus 2 equals 95. I'm going to combine. So 5a plus 3a is 8, and then plus 6 is 16a plus negative 5 and 2, that's negative 3, negative 3 and 4, 1 is plus. Combine again, I got 18a minus 1 equals 95. Gonna add 1. Alright, let me expand this and continue. So add 1 on both sides. 18a equals 94. Divide 18. And then my a will equal 5.22. So let me just make sure I got all the stuff, everything's correct. BC, CD, and I wrote it correct. So 5a minus 5, 3a plus 2, 6a plus 4, and then that equals, and make sure my perimeter is correct, 95. Alright. I just want to make sure everything is all in order. It's 8 and then 14. Now I see where I made the mistake. I have 16 here instead of 14. So let me erase. There's going to be... where's the eraser? So this was supposed to be 14. I put 16 by accident. 14a, and then I had this one that gives me negative 3, and then 1, the 2a. So, alright, so now let's continue changing that. So 14 and that one should be 16, and then that one. Alright, so I just changed a few things. That's why you gotta be careful. I mean, even I can make mistakes too. So you just gotta be careful. And then 94 divided by 16. Make sure if I have everything. 1, negative 1, positive 1, 95, 96. Messed up here too. Alright, let me move this out of the way. So if you're ready, you've caught that mistake before, that's good. Try to get this. Come on. Alright, 96, and then divide by that. So we should get a answer of 6. Now once we got 6, move that back here. Our a is equal to 6. Now we can start plugging it in and getting our sides. So I'll put a equals 6. So for this one, 18, this would be 20. This one is 36. So that would be 40. Be 30. 25. And then this one, 6, 5, and that's 10. And of course, you need to have your dimensions, centimeters. And let me move that. There we go. Right, so let's see, we have another one. Yeah, so this one, 5 Same thing. It's irregular. We just add up the sides. And I'm just going to do the last one with the triangle. So again, I'm going to draw the triangle, or I'm going to have my shape of the triangle. And I'm going to label it and put all the information. So I'm just going to, they didn't say ABC. It's a weird B. Whatever. C. Alright, so a regular triangle. So I know my triangle is regular. That's the key word there. That means it's going to be all congruent. Has a side of 3x, 2x plus 5, and then 5x minus 10. Find the perimeter. So we need to find the perimeter. Alright, so you're like, alright, how am I going to set this up? They didn't give us a perimeter. I need to add them all up and whatever. That would be easy if they gave you the perimeter. But remember, I underlined this keyword, regular. Regular means that all the sides are congruent. So what you could do is you could choose AC or AB, or you could choose CB or BA, whichever two sides, and set them equal to each other. So I'm going to choose 3x equals 2x plus 5. Set them equal to each other, and I'm going to solve. I'm going to make this. Okay. And x equals 5. So now, since I found that x equals 5, I'm going to plug it in to each side. So then this is going to be 15. This one gives me 20. That's 2 times 5, 10. Oops, not 20, 15. Squeeze all the same side. Duh. So that will be 15, and then the other one should be 15 also, because if they're all congruent. So then you got 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 10, that gives you 15. So now you know that they're all 15, just to make sure. And then since there's 3 sides, 15 times 3, the perimeter, so P equals 15 times 3, gives you 45. And there's no units, so I'll just put 45 units. And then select. There you go. So this should be the, oh, there's one more. It's just a challenge problem. So it says the width of a rectangle is 5 less than twice its length. The perimeter is 80 centimeters. Find the length and the width of each side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my shape of a rectangle. I don't know why am I moving this. Let's try that again. Go back to shapes, and then there's my rectangle. I can get out, and I move this here. Alright. So the width of the rectangle, I'm going to make this the width, of course. The rectangle is 5 less than twice its length. Do we know the length? No, so it's x. This is also x. But the width is 5 less than, so twice the length. So it'd be twice the length and 5 less than. It's not going to be 5 minus 2x, because 5 less than something, that means you're taking 5 away from something that exists. So you're taking 5 away from the 2x. That's why it's written that way. And you learned that in Algebra 1 when we're translating algebraic verbal expression to algebraic expression. Alright, so now they said the perimeter is 80 centimeters. Find the length and the width of each side. So we got 2 of the widths, which is going to be 2 times 5, 2x minus 5, plus 2x, which gives us 80. Now we're going to solve. So we got 4x, the distributive property. Just do the arrow, so remember that. Then get 2x. Combine like terms, that gives us 6x minus 10. And then you add 10 on both sides. you get 6x is equals 90, and then divided by 6. I'm going to put the x here. X equals, that gives us 15. We're not done yet because they're asking us for the width and the length. So now we plug it in. This one's going to be 15. Is the units? Yes, centimeters. This is 15 centimeters. And then you plug this in. So this gives us 30. 30 minus 5, 25 centimeters. And this is also 25 centimeters. There you go. Right, so that should be, this one is on the same thing. But I'll just show the answer to this one. Because this one, let's see if there's anything else. This one is a two-step where you have to find the original, use the original, and then find a new one. But I put the answers there. Leave this up if you want to practice more, and if to see if you get this answer. All right. So let me see. There's nothing behind. Okay, good. So as a recap, we learned about polygons. There's different types of polygons. They have their names. Polygons property. It has to be at least three sides. Shape has to be only one shape, and it has to be closed. Then there's classifications of them. Convex, concave. Convex is pointed, all angles point out. Concave, some of them are pointed in. Regular and irregular. Irregular means that all the sides are congruent. That means also the angles are congruent. Irregular, they're not congruent at all. And also perimeter, we already know that. Add up all the sides. It's the distance around the figure. And you have to pay attention, especially with what they give you, like little lines, tick marks like this. If you see that means that they're congruent. 2 tick marks has to be congruent to another one that's 2 ticks, or 1 congruent to another one that's 1. And if they ask you to find the sides, you need to solve for whatever variable, then plug it in to find the sides. Don't forget that, because usually it's a two-parter, and most of the times, some people might just end up with, oh, A equals this, and that's it. You didn't answer the question they asked you. Pay attention. And also keywords. If it says regular, triangle, regular, whatever shape, you know that all the sides are going to be congruent. If it says irregular, then you know it's not congruent. All right, so again, you can always pause, go back to see what you've missed. If you have questions, please email me. Do not wait for the last minute to find out what's going on. All right, so this concludes our lesson, and have a good day.